Welcome, 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 Dr. Jason Dean, drjasondean.com. As it says over there, it's your source for health, freedom, and knowledge as the parasites continue to be removed. Head on over to the website. You can check that out right here. Again, drjasondean.com. Up here at the top, you can go live. Live takes you over to Rumble for the time being, obviously. You can also head on over here to shop and check out the store. We have the protocols, we have CalMag C, we have the binders down there. Go check that out as well. I'm moving things around constantly, so keep an eye on that. And as always, the red button right here. Get your MVX test. Click on that, brings you over to the page. You can watch the video, you can book your call now. It signs you up for the MVX test, which you'll get. You'll also get a consult. You'll get to chat with me. Go over the health problems you have. Go over what you're dealing with, your symptoms. And then we'll put all that together, report of findings and the MVX report, and the personalized program with you on how to actually help handle all this. Okay? It's good stuff. www.drjasondean.tv, www.drjasondean.tv, and then we have the YouTube page up here again, Dr. Jason Dean DC. Go check that out. The handle is at Dr. Jason Dean DC, as in Dr. Chiropractic. Go check that out as well. I'm a little behind putting videos up. One of the reasons why is I was out of town this morning, so that's why you're watching this now, because I was busy doing some really cool stuff, checking out some things. I'll give some more information on that later if that pans out, but constantly looking at the next things that we can do and help you guys with, as always. We are in a weird world. This right here, I'm not going to play this right now. I actually just watched this. If you've watched the show at all, you'll know that I watch and listen to what's called the All In podcast. It's a very big podcast. I think they have about 1 million subscribers now on YouTube. I can actually take you over there. Let's see here. I watch it because I think they're actually really good. David Sachs, who's the crypto czar, is part of the original cast of that. He's on off and on now because he's in the administration. And then they have people like Chamath, Polyhopatia. Here it is, right here, All In Podcast. This is their YouTube channel, close to 1 million subscribers. They are a tech group, right? So they come from Google, from YouTube, big companies. And it, you know, the best part about this is they're not like, one of them is a little bit liberal. Another one is pretty independent. You have a conservative. I like listening to them because you get various opinions. It's not all about tech. There's politics, there's health. I don't even agree with all of them on everything. That's why I like it, because I do like the tech world and I follow it. It's also an investment world that they're venture capitalists, which I like some venture capital. I don't like other venture capital. So my point is on this thing is it's a good watch. With that said, they just put out this 12.5-minute video. I'm not going to go over it today, but this is Chamath, and he goes over, he has a past history as his father passed away of cardiovascular disease. And I'll tell you, I think he's a genius, this guy, but it is shocking to me how many people still fall for the cardiologist situation. I'm not saying cardiologists are bad. But this goes into statins. It goes into health checks. I'm going to go over maybe on Wednesday. I might actually go through the video because I watched it and I just like so blown away. It doesn't matter how much money you have in this world. Not that we thought it mattered, right? People are still battling the same nonsense today as they were yesterday, as they were a decade ago, as they were a century ago. Just... It's kind of unbelievable. That's all. It's kind of unbelievable. The thread of this today has Maha been taken down by the Susie Wiles of the world. And I actually think that I lost that bookmark. So I'm going to have to just go and look it up here. RFK Jr. last weekend was crazy, right? Last week was a little nuts because people posted some stuff, they messaged some stuff, etc. And right here, this is on November 14th, right? So this is the same day I believe that President Trump went after MTG. I haven't even gone over that yet because it's been a couple days. I was more concerned about this one. I'm going to give you my kind of opinion on this as I go. So he put this out on the 14th. The MAHA, or Make America Healthy Again movement, has no better friend in Washington than Susie Wiles, who has supported every effort to end the chronic disease epidemic and restore health freedom to every American. A small number of chaos agents are now targeting Susie out of ignorance or malice. Let's focus on our extraordinary achievements to date and the monumental work that still needs to be done. I refuse to be distracted. Let's build our coalition instead of splintering it. And then he goes into another one on Stephanie Spear and talking about Trump derangement syndrome, etc. So then he gets hammered with Chris Martenson. Question: why are the mRNA shots still on the market? They're contaminated with DNA. The FDA is fully authorized. Doc Pete Chambers, who I think is running for governor of Texas, if I remember correctly, extremely disappointed in these statements. The pressure is strong, I'm sure. Defender of the Republic. Chaos agents. Tom Renz, who he's always got an opinion on something. You mean the woman that worked for an organization that represented Pfizer and Gavi? You have my respect and appreciation for your work, but you also just invited Pfizer and a bunch of the people we've been fighting for years to your MAHA meeting. I'd love to know what is going on, but it is well known that Susie is pulling a lot of strings behind the scenes. You were an advocate and warrior against mRNA, and then you backed off. You pulled some of the funding, but then allowed saRNA to be approved for pets. And he goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay, but the hits just keep coming. Macus. Mary Telly Bowden. I have my own issues with her. Alex Jones. Just F you traitor. Effing nonsense. Blink twice. Health Rangers disagree. I mean, it just was, they unloaded, and it was in pretty big, pretty reasonably decent names. Now, do I think all these people are normal humans? No, I think a lot of them are chaos agents themselves as well. Here's where I stand on this stuff. I have realized that I don't know everything that's going on up there in Washington, D.C. I don't know everything that RFK Jr. is doing. Here's what I do know. I know that RFK Jr. is very close friends with the chiropractic community within, like the leaders in the chiropractic world right now. I have never heard behind the scenes that we've been thrown under the bus. I've never been told that he turned on us. I've never heard any of that stuff. I never had a chance to interview RFK Jr., but I will tell you, many years ago, I emailed him, and I was like, is that really his personal address? I'm not going to give it to you now. I still have it. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, let me check. So I emailed him, and he literally emailed me back and said, hey, get with this person. Before I could get with the person, he started his presidential campaign, so it was very hard to get in with him. But he literally emailed me back and forwarded it over to the right person. I'm not saying that has anything to do with today's Pfizer stuff or the Susie Wiles stuff. Is I don't know. And here's my problem with this. The internet also doesn't know. Just like the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff with President Trump. I don't know. However, I do know this. I know that politics in general is a shit show, and it's political theater a lot of the times. I also don't know what President Trump has working behind the scenes. I mean, it could be the plan, it could be cute, it could be a lot of stuff. I don't know. But to sit there and think that this is just not going our direction for random reasons, and the internet just wants to put their opinion on everything, I have learned to back off on my opinion. You know, it's quite funny. Totally unrelated but related. On Saturday, I went to a gymnastics event that my daughter competes in. So we go every once in a while on a Saturday out of town in the state. We don't go out of the state necessarily. We were about an hour or so away. And we were just watching, hanging out with other parents and watching the scores. And we started noticing that some of our better competitors were getting some lower scores than normal, right? And my daughter loves the bars, right? Like, she loves them. And she did her bar routine. It was quite good. And she got a score of 9.1. And I looked at my wife, I'm like, I don't even think she's ever gotten the 9.1 in bars. Like, she's really good with it. She loves bars. So then we had another girl on our team who did the floor routine, and she's like, this girl like gets 9.5s, 9.6s on the floor. And she got an 8.8. And I was like, that's not normal. And it didn't look like anything was wrong. So we found out that one of the other teams had protested the scoring. Our team did not. And I don't think the protest does anything. It's more of like, hey, we're protesting kind of thing. And the parents were talking, and I said, I guess you're going to have to teach your kids that there's politics in everything, including kids' gymnastics. Once they went competitive, they're competitive. They're on a competitive. They're competing against other teams from other clubs. So later on, my daughter gets in the truck and she's like, did you notice the scores? We were like, yeah, we noticed. I'm like, yeah. And I go, I can't prove that they're, obviously making things up. I go, but you're in a competitive town. You're going against another team. They probably provide judges. And so I go, that's the game. So I go, you can complain about it, but at the end of the day, you're not going to change it most likely. And two, that is part, unfortunately, of life. It doesn't matter if you're in gymnastics, you're in Washington, D.C., you're in a business. It doesn't matter if you're in a club of any kind. And I know people despise this, but there are politics, right? There are politics. And I don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes. So why would RFK Jr. Write a message saying Susie Wiles is great? I don't know. I don't know. Right? But it is what it is. Let it play out. I'm bringing up the Doritos things, right? Because have you seen... I bring this up because obviously RFK Jr. was supposedly involved in this. I said this. I told my wife last night, I go, did you... My in-laws, we were at dinner last night, and I said, did you see what Doritos did?
The renaissance of snacking is here. Doritos and Cheetos, simply naked. The flavors you love, naked of dyes and artificial flavors.
So there's no more... The flavor's still there, but there's no more artificial dyes. The flavor you love, no dyes. I have no idea what the ingredients are. And I said to my wife last night when I told her this, and I told my in-laws, I go, you know what's funny about this? These companies, right? These companies, there's the bag. These companies act like they couldn't have done this decades ago, right? So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, decades later, now they magically come up with a way to take the dyes, take the colors, take all the nonsense out. Now, again, I don't know the ingredients yet. I haven't looked. But I'm willing to bet it's still not like clean. I mean, just because they took out the pretty colors. By the way, I'd be curious how many people still buy it. Do you think that people will care? Or do you think that they won't care? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. It's a good question. We'll have to see what actually happens with that. But anyway, keep the poison out of your system. Now, as it relates to this, I was at an event this past weekend, and I'll talk more about this probably tomorrow and Wednesday. 1 in 4 Americans are now on prescribed psychiatric or psychotropic drugs. Now, when I say prescribed, because I actually think the number is more about 50%, but they're not prescribed. I think a lot of people are taking them that are not prescribed. They're just taking them. They're getting from somebody else or black market, whatever. But officially, technically, 1 in 4, 25% of Americans, including children, are on nasty, dangerous, psychiatric, psychotropic drugs. Over 60% of Americans are on prescribed, again, prescribed, the number's higher, 60% or more, prescribed opioids. Okay? Horrible. I was at this event and I was just like, oh my God, like, this mountain is so much larger than I've ever really comprehended. And that's not that, like, I don't want to feel bad. I am truly realizing the magnitude, the size of this problem. It's so gigantic. Somebody told me today, or somebody asked me why I do what I do. What is my purpose? What is it? Why am I doing this video right now? Why do this show? I don't know why they call it a show. Like program, show, podcast, whatever you want to call it. People ask me, I'm like, I don't know, call it a podcast, call it a show. It doesn't matter to me. Video. Why is this video done? Why is the streaming happen? Why? There are days, guys, that I have no desire to do this show. Like today, I was up early, had to go out of town, do this meeting, come back. I'm like, I still got to get this done. Still got to get it done. Why? Because our kids are being ravaged by the system. When I was put on Adderall and Zoloft in my mid-20s, now I wasn't a kid yet, but I had enough anxiety as a kid that then turned into what they called ADD, ADHD. Now, they weren't asking what I was eating. I didn't tell them that I was like knocking down like half a dozen donuts a day, that I was filling half of my coffee with sugar. I wasn't telling them that I was like having breakfast was like donuts and muffins or cereal. I wasn't telling them that fast food was dinner when I was a bachelor and I was just working. That I was just eating sandwiches and subs and whatever. Like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of grams of carbs per day. I didn't say that. So when my primary care physician at that time asked me if I had anxiety, she didn't ask me what my diet was. She didn't ask me how much sugar I was pounding on a daily basis. The psychiatrist that I went to when I didn't know any better never asked me what I was eating, putting in my mouth, drinking, etc. Wasn't asking about the soda that I was drinking when I was a kid. Nope. You just have ADD, ADHD. Take these drugs. I did not last on psychotropic drugs. I took Adderall and Zoloft for 1 day because I didn't know any better. Felt terrible, took myself off of it. I am a fortunate one. I am fortunate that I had never done a drug in my life, so when I did those for 1 day, I didn't feel good, or I felt too good, I should say. Feeling too good felt bad to me. Like, what is this? Like, that seems too magical to me. Like, that seems dangerous. So I took myself off. I am fortunate. You listening out there, your kids, your family members, your colleague, they're not as fortunate. 25% are taking psych drugs today, and that is not a real number. Over 60% of Americans on opioids. So when I saw the magnitude of this problem, honestly, it was kind of a punch in the gut. Kind of a punch in the gut. This is why I tell you, get over to the YouTube page. I will put more content up. Get over to the Substack page. I will put more content up. Get over to drjasondean.com. Clean the parasites out. Have you jumped into Health Freedom? It's right here, Health Freedom University. Learn more. How to lose weight in as little as 30 days. Like right here. You just learn more. You just pop straight up. It does pop right up. It's working. I'm not going to let it work that long. I'll make sure afterwards it's up there. Right? Go get the parasites out of your body. Get the para 3 in your body. Kill this stuff off. I'll talk more about that this week. I got to hit the numbers more on everybody. Because I'll tell you, people are still pounding their statins. They're still pounding their psych drugs. They're still pounding their opioids. They're still pounding the sugar. And America is literally on the brink. And that's not being dramatic. I mean, we're on the edge of the cliff. And most people just don't know. Head on over, drjasondean.com, everybody. drjasondean.com. Love, help, and serve the best you possibly can. I will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8 o'clock. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Take care of yourselves. Again, love, help, and serve. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.